Welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Molly and today I'm showing you how to make my sourdough Lofthouse cookies. They're simple and easy. Let's go make them. To get started, you'll need some kind of large mixing bowl and an electric mixer of some kind. You can do a hand mixer or a stand mixer. It does not matter either way. But first we are going to add in 4 tablespoons or 1/4 of a cup of butter. I like to do salted butter and it's going to need to be at room temperature for this recipe. And then we're going to add in 1/2 of a cup of pure cane sugar. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to grab our electric mixer and we are going to cream this together for about a minute until it's all fluffy on a low-medium speed. While you're doing this, you might need to scrape down the sides of the bowl, so just take your beaters and do this. If you're using a stand mixer, you can just use some kind of spatula when it's turned off and scrape down the sides. This way all the ingredients are incorporated and combined. Once it's all creamed together, we're going to add in 1 egg, and then we're going to mix that again on a low-medium speed until it's incorporated completely. Once your egg is combined, we are then going to add in 1/4 of a cup of sourdough discard, aka unfed starter. You could use fed if you wanted to, but discard works just fine. We're also going to add in 1/4 of a cup of sour cream. If you don't have this on hand, you could substitute it for 1/4 of a cup of unsweetened plain yogurt. Next, we are adding in 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder, as well as 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda. Next is 1/2 of a tablespoon of cornstarch. This makes the cookies really soft and fluffy. So if you don't want to use cornstarch or you can't use cornstarch, you could instead do a rice flour or an arrowroot powder. Either work great. And then finally, we're going to add in 1/2 of a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. Now we are going to mix this again on a low-medium speed until everything is combined. Once those ingredients are combined and the sides are scraped down, you'll add in 1 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. So we're just going to add that in. We're going to mix this on a medium speed until everything is combined. You might want to start off at a low speed while all that flour is on top and then get it up to a medium. You'll feel the batter start getting thicker, and that's when you're going to want to up your speed. Once your batter is completely combined, it's going to be very sticky. This is exactly what you want. We are going to chill it here in a minute, and that will help make it easy for when we roll it out. But just get your beaters cleaned off. I like to use a spatula to do this. So just make sure you scrape down those sides. There might be some cookie dough on the side of your bowl you just want to put down into your dough. And then you're going to either add a lid or saran wrap to the top of your bowl, and then you're going to stick it in the fridge for 1 hour to chill. So let's go do that. This chilling time is so necessary. Please do not skip it. It is going to make your dough so much easier to roll out because, as you saw, it was very sticky. During this time, you can either take a break and come back in an hour, or you can go ahead and make your frosting for the tops. If you are in a rush or you don't want to take as long, you can also freeze the dough for only 30 minutes instead of refrigerating for an hour. When your dough has chilled, either in the fridge for an hour or the freezer for 30 minutes, you're going to grab a little bit of flour and dust it on your workspace. So you're just going to do that. And then we are going to take our dough out. It's going to be still a little bit sticky. That is exactly what you want, so no worries. And then you're going to dust the top of it with your flour again. This just allows your dough to not be so sticky. I just adjusted the camera quick so you guys could see. So as you can see this, we've got some flour on the table, and then we've also got some flour on top. So you want to just coat your dough in a little bit of flour. And then if you've got a ton of excess, just move it to the side. You will probably need it here in a little bit. Once your dough is floured, you are then going to roll your dough out to about 1/2 inch thick. So make sure you have flour underneath it, that way it doesn't stick on your countertop. I always like to roll it out a little bit and then pick it up to make sure nothing's sticking. You can even flip it over if you need to. If you ever do roll your dough too thin, you can just bunch it back up and re-roll it out. I've had to do that so many times. Once your dough is about 1/2 inch thick, you're gonna grab a 3-inch round cookie cutter for the regular size cookies. If you want smaller, you could do a 2-inch cookie, and you will want to adjust your bake time by like 2 minutes. You'll do 2 minutes less if you do a 2-inch cookie, but I like to do the 3-inch round cookies. This is just a biscuit cutter. I can leave the one I use down in the description below, but then you're going to just cut out your cookies. So just like that, and then you're gonna place them on a parchment lined sheet pan. I also forgot to say, at this time, you're gonna want to go preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. That way it will be ready once you're done cutting out the cookies. We're gonna continue doing this until all of our cookies are done, or until all of our dough is used up. So you're just gonna keep cutting them out. I love making cookies. They're always so much fun, and this recipe is so easy, it's so delicious. You don't have to worry about any of the garbage or excess sugar that's in the grocery store ones. And to be completely honest, these taste better than the ones at the grocery store. Okay, once you've cut out your dough and you can't get any more out, you're gonna ball it back up. You might need to add a little bit of flour from your pile if it's kind of getting sticky. Also, if your cutter or your rolling pin gets sticky, just get a little flour on there. It's gonna help a lot. So you're just gonna ball this up to make it a consistent dough again, like this. And then you're gonna put it back down, make sure there's flour underneath again. And then we're going to roll this out to 1/2 inch. Once we've got it rolled out, you're gonna then cut more cookies. If you can't get any more out from that, you'll just do it again. You're just gonna keep rolling the dough out and cutting the cookies until it's all used up. With the 3-inch cookie cutter, you'll get anything from about 7 to 9 cookies. Today we got 9. It just depends on how you roll it and the size of your cutter. So now that everything's cut on here, you're gonna wanna make sure your cookies are about 1 inch apart so that way they don't bake together. But then you are going to put them in the oven for 12 to 14 minutes until they are baked all the way through. So let's go do that. While your cookies are baking, we're gonna clean up really quick, and then we're going to make our buttercream frosting. Now to make the buttercream frosting, we're gonna add in 4 tablespoons or 1/4 of a cup of salted butter, as well as 2 tablespoons of milk, 1 cup of powdered sugar, and finally 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now, this step is completely optional. You do not have to do this. You can just do a white frosting without any food coloring, but if you choose, you can do a few drops of food coloring of any color. I like to do about 5 to 7 drops of natural red food coloring, and it makes it a little bit of a pink. It's beautiful, but I like the Watkins food coloring. It's no artificial dyes. If you guys can see this, I can leave it down in the description below, the link to these. They are really awesome. They are not made with any of the nasty garbage fake dyes. So this is what I like to use. You could also use like cherry, strawberry, or raspberry juice, and then it would also flavor it. So we're gonna do about 5 drops. 3, 4, 5. If you are using regular food coloring that's not natural, do a few drops, test it, and add a little more in. They might be a little bit more stronger than the natural stuff. Okay, and then we're gonna grab our electric mixer again with beater attachments, and we are going to mix this on a low-medium speed until everything is combined and we have a nice buttercream frosting. I like to cream mine for about 1 minute so it's just all nice and fluffy. Now we're going to let this frosting sit until those cookies are finished baking. Once your cookies are done baking, you'll immediately want to take them off of the pan and onto a cooling rack. So just do this. That's the easiest way to take them off of the pan. So your cookies are going to be a few different sizes if after you rolled them, like you can't get them perfect after you re-roll the dough. So like you'll have a few different sizes, but the cookies should look like this on the bottom, just a light brown. And then you can also use a toothpick if you're not sure to poke into your cookie and make sure the insides are done, but it should come out clean. But we're gonna let these sit and cool for a little while. You do not wanna put the frosting on until they're completely cooled or else it will melt. Once your cookies are completely cooled, you can then go ahead and frost them. So you're just gonna grab a butter knife and grab some glob, like a big glob of frosting, and you're just gonna spread it on top. You're gonna wanna do this very carefully so you don't break your cookie, but I like to just push down a little and then I'll do a swooping motion to get that nice creamy texture. Once you've got your frosting on, you can either eat them like this or you can add sprinkles. I like to use a natural colored sprinkles, so I like to use the Watkins brand again. I can leave these linked down in the description below, but they are a no artificial dye decorating sugar. I'll bring them closer. I like to use these. They come in all kinds of different colors. They're not the like iconic Lofthouse cookie sprinkles, but they work really well. You could find those iconic sprinkles, the bigger ones, that are like a natural brand on Amazon. I know I found them at Kroger before. You're just gonna dust your cookies with the sprinkles and do this right away so your frosting does not dry and harden. And then there you go. I'll bring it closer. And that is how you make homemade Lofthouse cookies with sourdough. It is so simple and easy. These are fantastic. We honestly can't stop eating them every time I make a batch. The full recipe is linked down in the description below. It's over on the blog so you can go print or save it. I hope you enjoyed watching this recipe tutorial, and until next time, go bring life into your home through the kitchen.